Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Monday edition of Moohead Radio. I'm your host, Mr. Moohead, and joining me is Bronk in England
Boo.
and anyone else who wants to come in and click their way into the studio. Uh, it's no secret that I have not been in great health lately. I am still under the weather, but getting better. So slowly but surely, we get this thing taken care of. And I'm hoping that in another week or so that I'll be back to my normal self. But I am my normal self as far as what I have to say today. And I am totally disappointed. And and it isn't what you think I'm going to say because the Cavaliers lost. Teams lose. They deserve to lose. I'm not going to question the fact that they deserve to lose the game because they didn't play well enough down the stretch. They had the lead and then they gave up a 13-5 run and they lost the game. So, and they didn't play well to fall behind to this team, and they've lost to this team, the Kings, twice in a row. So, and it gets to the end of the game and their guys light it up and our guys disappear.
Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine, but not just him, but the guy whose name I always forget, who's the former Raptor, Mr.
DeRozan.
DeRozan, yeah, Mr. Midrange, and these
Sabonis.
guys, and yep. So I'm not going to sit here and tell people, oh, we deserve to win the game. That's not where this is going to go. And there's a few other places we can go, and we're going to bring Hammer Time in. Hi, Jim.
Oh.
Yeah, they played for shit yesterday.
They really did. They didn't play well, and Kenny didn't coach well. And Kenny,
yeah, he got out coached. I that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
But after the game, he acknowledged that he wasn't at his best. I mean, there were other moves, and I think a lot of people were really distraught that Okoro, who played well in brief time, wasn't given more time, and Sam Merrill, who was being targeted and not making any of his shots, was out there for what seemed to be an eternity
yes.
compared to what Okoro had gotten. So nobody was really on top of their game, and they should have been a lot more excited about playing and clinching the whole thing. But they didn't do it, and so now it goes that they have to, and there we have the information from David Talevsky, and you knew it was coming. That Mitchell is out, and he's going to be out for quite a while, I imagine. People said, oh, we dodged a bullet. And it's like, no, we did not. He sprained an ankle. And that's not going to heal, really, unless he stays out for the rest of the season. And if the Cavaliers do not beat the Bulls in Cleveland, there is still questions as to whether they will end up with the number 1 seed in the East. But let's digress from that a moment, because I think most of the Cavaliers universe is not happy with the way the team performed yesterday. But I see things from a different perspective quite often. And here's what I can tell you. And Ron Shang's saying, their size just pushed us around. And that's where we start. We have a guy like Sabonis. And Sabonis is a guy who, quite honestly, and it's funny, I was just going to share a screen, and I can't, but I can pull up, see, yeah, I suppose I can still pull this up a little bit, but ESPN kind of moves their stuff around periodically. A guy like Sabonis, who is a work hard kind of guy, the game started out, and I knew right off the bat when they called 2 quick fouls on Jared Allen that it was going to become the Sabonis show, because he was doing anything he wanted to do and they wouldn't call him for a foul. It was exactly like Sengun, the exact same premise, different player. And he was literally leading with his arms, shoving men off. He elbowed Allen in the neck, and they said he didn't even commit a foul. Their coach challenged everything, and every challenge came true for him, no matter whether there was contact or not. They were given all kinds of leg room for pushing, shoving, and it's like, well, they were more physical. They're more physical. Well, if we tried to play physically like that, they'd blow the whistles. Now, that's the first part of it. But the part that is inexcusable to me is how you can miss a play and not review it. And they always have an excuse after the fact, but the layup
The shot clock.
Yeah, the shot clock
floater
expired with the ball in his hand.
Yeah.
And they do this all the time. It's like, well, they're taking a point away from the Cavaliers because that 3 was really a 2.
Yeah.
Like, all right, that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. But here's an incredibly important play. And not only do they miss an obvious call that a person who was a much lower tier official would have caught, but where, and then you see the highlight afterwards, it's like, oh, they're going to come back and they're going to change that. No, they're not. Hell no. What do they do? Oh, no. See, Donovan was on the sidelines, so that's not a foul either. And Kings win. Kings win. And the referees run out with pom-poms, and that's the end of the game. I am so sick and tired of the NBA. Totally sick and tired. It is a corrupt organization, and you're never going to get a fair chance. It's never going to happen. Not for the rest of my days, your days. If you're betting on this, you're a moron. I hope you lose your money, you lose your home, and your children lose their educations, because there is nothing honest about this. And I'm going to go one step further, and I'm going to let Tony the Calf in here too. Hi, Tony. How you doing, buddy? Oh, Tony? Tony. I guess Tony just wants to be a spectator. So what I wanted to share with you is to present a screen. And this is the kind of horseshit that we have to deal with. And let's go ahead and share this. There you go. This is the front page of ESPN. All right. 28 Luka trades. His name is Luka. Every NBA team could have offered the Mavs for this great god of a man. Look how happy LeBron and Luka are together. Imagine me and you. I do. I think about you day and night, right? So you say to yourself, okay, that's interesting. Let's slide down. Oh, there's supposedly our Northeast Ohio guy, Brian Windhurst, towing the company line. Lakers had an absolute perfect day. It's a perfect day. The NBA fixed the
In all
games.
reality, Windy has to do that because they've been firing people left and right at Espen there. So
Good. I mean, then at least in your private life, acknowledge what you're doing. Okay? But this is horseshit. I'm sorry. I don't need the Lakers had an absolute perfect day. You know what he was telling us in this little clip? Not only did Luka have his step back jump shot, which he hasn't since he joined the Lakers, but he did. He did in one game. Not only that, wait, SGA didn't go to the free throw line even once. That's how great the Lakers were.
Correct.
Give me a fucking break.
How can that happen?
It's not possible.
That game was worse refereed than the Cavs game was.
My God. I mean,
all the way through.
there was no way they couldn't win.
If that was on the road, they would have been playing Three Blind Mice over and over again.
Just crazy. And look at this. Shannon can't contain himself after Lakers' big win over the Thunder. This is the whole front page of ESPN. You would think that only one game had been played.
Correct.
Now, it serves a purpose for the league doing this kind of nonsense. All right. Now I'm going to stop that screen. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just a bunch of, it's just a crock of shit. And it's
laughable.
I mean, you take a look at the games that the Lakers have been playing, and the other thing that Wendy was saying, and I'm going to start calling him Brian, okay? Because if we're going to talk about people who are propagandists, we start with the name Brian.
Oh,
okay?
dear.
Oh,
I
dear.
mean, seriously, the Lakers are 2 games out of 8th.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, but they're in the perfect spot, according to Wendy. Now, I'm going to identify this perfect spot by looking at their last 10 games and telling you they lost to the Bucks.
They did.
By 29 points. They lost to the Bulls by 31 points.
They did.
They lost to the Magic by 12 points. These are all in succession. They barely beat the Pacers by 1.
Yep.
They lost again to the Bulls a second time by 2. And then they beat the Grizz 134 to 127. And I guess that constitutes, and then they beat the Rockets by 6. But then they lost to the Warriors. All right.
The Warriors who Steph Curry had what, 3 more points than you and I had yesterday?
Yeah. I mean,
3 more.
I can't trust anything that I'm hearing, that I'm seeing. It's just like the news. It's just like X. It's just like everything else. Why this tariff is a great idea. Why it's a wonderful thing that the stock markets are crashing downward. Why it's a wonderful thing for working people that there are still no factories in America. I'm so tired of the fucking spin that somebody has to come on here and tell the fucking truth. And if it's a fat guy in Florida and sometimes Ohio who's sick, I will be that guy. Because nobody has ever paid me to do this fucking program. Nobody ever will pay me to do this fucking program.
True.
They were going to take up
I
the
mean-
Zelle thing, but they got rid of the app. So,
No, we're too busy GoFunding Marjorie Taylor Greene's boy to give him a beer on his birthday.
So, I mean, this is the perfect place now that the Lakers are in, you see. I mean, they've been playing such great ball. Didn't you know that? And, and they're going to get the 3 seed, and that's the best place to be. It's not best to be the 1 seed, not best to be the 2 seed. It's best to be the 3 seed. And when they do that, we're going to claim that they're going to win the championship. And then we're going to cheer for them. And we're going to start putting all their logos on the set. We're going to do everything we can to try to get that superstar team into the finals. And meanwhile, OKC just found out what it's like to be from Oklahoma City.
Correct. They got fucked.
I mean, they just got
They got
screwed.
absolutely fucked.
Why did they bother even coming out to play that game? I don't
They
understand.
they get a chance tomorrow for some redemption because they got the Lakers at home tomorrow. So
There is no
redemption.
when you're a mid-sized market. There is no redemption. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. They're not going to let that happen.
Win. Yeah, they're not going to let them win.
Now, I wanted to share something else because this is not just the NBA. It's everything that I can think of. And I wanted to share another screen with people. And I'm actually getting better at this when they don't screw around,
Wow. You can't teach an old cow new tricks, huh?
Well, you can't.
you might need to take
sometimes.
down the quote from Ron, though, to get some more screen.
Oh, well, now it's okay, sure.
Yeah, maybe it
Screen.
won't let you
And
screen
yeah,
share
here we
when
go.
there's a
All right,
quote
here we
up.
go. Share it up. All right. You
There we
see
go.
that?
Who is that supposed to be? I don't even know who these fuckers are.
Well, you're not. This guy
NCAA,
here is
the
obviously
Final
just
Four.
a guard.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch any of that, so I wouldn't
All
know
right.
who they are.
So you're seeing the red. It's University of Houston. Ooh, what a night! Yeah, they were just like thrilled and happy, and it's like this is monumental for the University of Houston. It's huge, absolutely huge. And in the moment of the greatest amount of joy, I am circling in the red, is trying to get up to whip the crowd into more of a frenzy to celebrate with the team. But this guy here is saying, who in the fuck are you? Get out of here. And he's saying,
is that Clyde?
No, it's worse than that. All right. I am going to share this with you. All right.
It's a little video clip. Okay.
No, it won't help you because you won't
help me.
recognize who that is. But you see, he played for 20 consecutive seasons in Houston. First, collegiately at the University of Houston Cougars, and then professionally with the Houston Rockets. Now you know? You know?
Could be Hakeem Olajuwon.
That's exactly who it is. Not a smaller one, it's a larger one. Okay?
I was waiting for somebody else to say it. I didn't want to be the one to say it.
Well, he must be on, like, that must be a raised surface because that's
Obviously, because he's bigger than every other white
way
guy that
taller
I've
than
ever
whoever
known.
that other dude is.
What more do you have to do? And see, there is no appreciation for anything anymore. Nothing. And now it's trickled down to the college level too. Great win for the University of Houston. Take nothing away from the program. But if Hakeem Olajuwon, who spent his entire fucking life, adult life there, you know, I was looking up after his rookie season, he signed a contract for 5 years. Okay. How much was his 5-year contract worth?
Oh,
$8 million.
So, I was going to say, is it like 2.3?
2.5 million.
Yeah.
Per year?
Yeah.
Or
These asshole kids now in the portal are making more than that.
these fucking third string quarterbacks at Ohio State making that kind of money.
Gum chewing kids up there going, who the fuck are you? We just won a national championship. Don't come up here like you're some kind of NBA champion or something. We don't know who the fuck you are.
Just show him his fraternity badge from Phi Slamma Jamma.
Yeah.
Wow, that's old school.
Yeah. Well,
We are old school.
And here's the other part of it that bothers me so much.
We're very old.
There's so much that bothers me about this because it's so.
You're disappointed, Kyle. You're not mad, Kyle. You're disappointed.
It's just totally somebody being unappreciated. And if you're a Houston University of Houston fan, you're a Houston Rockets fan, and the Houston Rockets only gotten 2 titles, and that was 94-95, and it was that guy who gave them
that guy, yeah.
And you won't even let him stand up on the dais. It's like we don't even recognize who in the hell you are. You're some dumbass Muslim guy. I'm MAGA, and you're Muslim, and get the fuck off the stage. This is their moment, not yours.
Wow.
Amazing, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah, I just it really makes me sick to my stomach.
I was going to say that happened with Will Howard during one of the Buckeye wins during the playoffs, and somebody had to actually say, by the way, that's our quarterback, and bring him over to the thing. Yeah. And he was in uniform. It wasn't like, you know.
I mean, pictures sometimes speak more than words do. Okay.
Oh, wow.
All right. So here you go. There's your box score. All right. And you notice something strange with the exception of Jalen Williams. Look at the free throws. Holmgren 0.
Oh yeah.
Hartenstein
How does
0.
SGA have no free throws in the game?
Niedermeyer
0.
0.
A
York
total
0. Look at
It'd
their
be
bench
one
except for
thing-
one
it'd be one
guy.
thing
All
if that-
zeros.
It'd be one thing if the 3-point shots was like 12 or 13, but no, it's 23 from inside the arc.
Yep.
How? Yeah.
It's they
Just
got
Had enough
absolutely
of the-
raped.
I mean, it's just pathetic. And of course, you're going to stop them because they're not going to be able to score, and you can just punch the shit out of them and get away with it. So, which brings me back to idiot Sabonis, who I have nothing against. He's not really an idiot, and it's great because he had such a prolific career in Indiana. But they didn't want to keep him, so they traded him to the pointless Sacramento Kings, who are a pointless organization. But what you learn is if you're playing the game in Cleveland, Sacramento's the big market team compared to you. They're
yeah.
telling you something, and they are sending a message to the Thunder. They're saying, yeah, don't get so excited about your record. This is the Lakers, and we can do this anytime we want to. We can make sure that they win. You're not getting out of the West. We don't want Oklahoma City representing the NBA. We don't want Cleveland representing the NBA. We don't want that. We want Boston in there. That's what we want. And we want the Lakers in there. And we want to bring back the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson mystique. And on it goes. I just fucking hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, they want to avoid at all costs the 4-5 Oklahoma Golden State Lakers first round game. They're going to do whatever they can. The OKC's going to get screwed Tuesday night.
You there, Tony?
He's in the wind tunnel.
Oh, there he is. He's in the time tunnel.
Am I in the wind tunnel?
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah, I'm in my car driving. I didn't think it'd be that much of a...
He's driving in his
Drive.
car.
Yeah.
He turn on
Come
the
on, baby.
radio.
Baby, you can drive my car.
And baby, I love you.
Close.
So if you're wondering, I saw that you were in private chat, Tony. So I'll pull the comments back up.
Private chat.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was getting him out of purgatory, is what it amounted to.
Was he?
We had lost his signal, and so he had to come back on, and so
was he rotting away down in the bottom of the studio? Yeah. I know the feeling.
So nobody wants to hear. Nobody wants to hear the truth. Okay,
you can't handle the truth.
Nobody wants to hear the truth because it ruins whatever your imagination is, because your team is never going to win. They're not going to let it happen.
No.
And as far as Sabonis is concerned, and Sengun and these mediocre players who are allowed to take the guys on our team and literally shove them and elbow them in the throat and the side, knock them down, throw them to the ground. I'm sick of it. I don't care about what the NBA wants, what the NBA does. I support my team. I like the team. But with that said, the Cavaliers lost a game they should have won. All right? And one of the biggest reasons that they lost the game is because a new thing is taking over the team, which is they can't make free throws. We can't say that we didn't get to the line like Oklahoma City. We can't say that.
Yeah, the box score is interesting from this game. Let me tell you.
We missed like 8 or 9 free throws that would have just obviously flipped. If they made 6 or 7 of them, it would have flipped the outcome of the game.
Yep, 11-19.
And it's just not acceptable. And nobody's talking about it. And I'll talk about something else, because I talked last year about this, and I've been a good cow, and I've kept my mouth shut, and I haven't driven a nail in to make a point. Last year, everyone was saying, well, Darius Garland broke his jaw, lost all that weight, and he was weak by the time the playoffs came around. And I said, no, Darius Garland didn't work out in the offseason and build his body up for a full 82-game schedule. And people said, oh, God, you're so negative. You're so negative. Well, here we go again. Darius Garland didn't break his jaw. He didn't lose body weight. And at the end of a grueling season, he's shooting 32% from three in his last 15 games. And he is not making anything except 90% of his free throws, except the ones that count in the end of games where he seems to pull a string every time.
Oh, but he didn't get a foul, called on him. He didn't
The whole team couldn't shoot a three yesterday either.
Nope.
Yeah, Garland was 1 of 7 from
The
3.
whole team was 10 of 38.
10 of 38, yeah.
26%.
And again, the bottom line here is that this is not new. And everybody was like, oh, you see what a great season he's having. And the last year is just a distant memory. No, it's not. He fucks around in the off season. You want to have a guy who is a top-notch player, he's got to take his job seriously. In this NBA, and it's why all this man love for Luka Doncic, he's fat. He's not in shape. He looks like a fucking Michelin man, and it's embarrassing. He's not in the condition to consistently perform at the level that he needs to because the pace of the game is backbreaking. We're at a point now with the NBA, and nobody wants to talk about this either, is that your starting five doesn't really fucking matter. What really matters is your depth and then your killer five. That's the whole thing. It's if you can have guys like, look at Ty Jerome. He missed how many games? He stepped right in and he scored 20 points.
4.
Right?
Yeah, he looked really good, actually.
Yep. And, and Hunter came in and did his thing, and, you got depth, but you got to have a killer five. And if the lead head of the snake, your main ball handler, is this weak little guy who refuses to bench press anything over the course of an off season and get himself physically prepared. I mean, for fucking Christ's sake. I mean, did you see when we were playing against Chris Paul? Chris Paul can't even elevate a foot off the ground. I mean, the guy's ancient. But
he
look
didn't
at his
say
body.
Old, weak little guy, by the way.
Look at his body. Look at how people build. Look at Donovan Mitchell. Do you think he came out of Louisville like that?
No.
I mean,
well, look at that. Look at that old guy there on the Lakers that continuously works and works. I mean, if he wasn't working out, there's no way he'd play like he does at 40.
Yeah. I mean, and, besides the illegal substances, look at Tristan Thompson. Sorry. Performance enhancing drug joke. But again, if you're going to last in the league, you're a guard, you're going to get hit. You're going to go to the basket. You're going to get hit. You're going to get slapped, pushed around. But you see, there's two things that I can tell you about when these defensive lapses hit the Cavaliers. One, the second Sam Merrill checks into the game, they target him. That's the first thing. And the second thing is when Darius Garland starts, they target him. And they will go at him because he can't stop somebody from backing down. He's not physically strong enough. So, again, when you reach the end of the season and the games become more physical in the postseason, that's the way they're officiated, which is what the whole thing comes down to, is who the league wants to win and who they let push and shove more. So, yeah, for the last period of time, I've been watching 15 games of Darius Garland go right down the shitter. and wide open shots, and he's yanking them. He's not shooting the floater. He's trying to continue to go to the rim because his legs aren't strong enough. His upper body isn't strong enough. Just tell the truth. He's not up to things. He's not up to the job. And if it were me, after going through the same rant a year ago, seeing the same thing, there's only one thing you can do with Darius Garland. If he will not work out in the offseason, you trade his fucking ass. That's what you do, because you can't win with people who run out of gas at the end of the season. Now, you look at other guys and how they prepare themselves, and you take a look at a guy like Evan Mobley, who's still not as strong as hopefully he's going to be. But you see the strides in one season. With Garland, you see no strides. It's a repeat performance. He's great for 2/3 of the season, and the last third of the season, he's gassed. And that's what we're seeing. I mean, and everybody was saying, well, Jared Allen was really weak sauce because of the rib injury. But, you know, he's doing all right this season. It's not him. And Strus is running around like a madman, and Ty Jerome is working his ass off. But who's the killer five? And at first, you know, we were thinking to ourselves, you know something? I think DeAndre, you know, that Hunter is going to be one of the killer five. He's got to be on the floor with the game in the balance in the playoffs. All right?
Right. Well, I tend to agree with that, but he was minus 28 yesterday. So was that an aberration? He was DeAndre Hunter was minus 28.
No, I'm not going to tell you that he had a great game. I'm saying what people are suggesting, because they need to have a killer five, and there is no killer five if Darius Garland is on the court, because then you're giving up defense. Now, if you're going to score a lot of points and win that way, okay, you know, although it's tough to get loose and free in the playoffs when you're playing major market teams. And right now they lose to the Knicks, and I think the Knicks stink. But the Knicks, you know, Tom Thibodeau will tell his players to grab the players by the throats and throw them to the floor, and the referees will let it happen.
Correct.
I am not looking forward to the postseason because we're going to get cheated as sure as I'm sitting here. And the players who need to be physically stronger are not physically stronger. The five that you need, the killer five to end up the game, you have to have some physicality on the floor. And it cannot be finesse. It has to be brute strength. And, you know, so David is asking me, you know, what incentive does the league have with Sacramento? They aren't a big market. You're missing the point.
They're a pawn.
Do you honestly think a guy like Sabonis, he starts out the game and he's just literally shoving people in the back to get offensive rebounds. You see them flying over the baseline. He's taking his in move with his elbow and elbowing guys in the throat and the side of their neck. He's literally doing whatever it is he needs to do with his off arm that it makes Jason Tatum look graceful in comparison. And he knows, well, they're going to let me get away with this. So I'm going to run with it. We're the fucking Kings, and we don't get this opportunity very often. Me no sure why we getting opportunity, but hey, I'm going to go for it. And that's what he did. Whenever he was in the game, he just push and shove and push and shove. And then by the end of the game, you know, they hit a few big shots. And I'm not taking the game away from them because the Cavaliers didn't play well enough to earn a win. But I already see the future. And it's a dim future. The whole city is going to be so disappointed, and we're going to go right back to the same talking point that it was all an illusion, and they're the same team they were last time, and we'd have been better off with J.B. Bickerstaff and all the whining from Cleveland. That's what we're going to get.
Oh, God.
And the fact is the Cavaliers are a good team. Kenny Atkinson is a good coach. He did not coach a good game against the Kings. He admitted that, so it's not me saying that. It's Atkinson saying that. He could have used different substitutions. He could have
Correct.
done
Well,
things better.
To highlight that, Sacramento played their big five 40 minutes plus. All 5 of their starters played 40 minutes plus. And basically, they had one reserve play 20 minutes, and then 3 other guys play like 5 minutes. Whereas Kenny was still doing his regular season January rotations, which is fine. Getting 10 guys in and all of them playing up to 20 minutes. But that wasn't going to work. I mean, that's why Hunter had minus 28 because he was going against Levine and all the top players, and he couldn't guard him. Okoro actually has a plus 20, and he actually did halfway decent when he was out there.
Yep.
So
Made some shots.
I think it
played
was
some
Atkinson not putting the right players on the floor that did not help win that game.
That's right. And he acknowledged that after the game. And David is saying, they won't
The
get
crowd
cheated
was
against
dead.
Boston because Boston will beat them in 5. All right.
Yeah.
Now, look, beat is let me see the series before we say that anybody beats us. All right. Because I've watched all year that we, against all odds, beat people, came back from behind. Do I think Boston is unbeatable? Fuck no. I don't think they're unbeatable.
No.
I think that they have all of the support from the league. I think that all of the media, that's who they want in the finals. They will get every single call. That's what I'll tell you. If the Cavaliers win one more game and get a home court advantage, if we get that far, I don't think the Cavaliers are even going to get to Boston. I really don't. I think we're going to get fucked in the ass long before that.
Wow.
That's my belief. Somehow it's going to come up that we end up playing the Knicks, and the Knicks are somehow going to get every call. And, it will just be an ugly series where they're wrapping their arms around us, and we won't have the ability to get people free. And Thibodeau will be lauded until he loses to the Celtics. And then they'll say, "Oh, same old Tibbs."
Well,
that's what we're
the other thing I'm worried about, honestly, is that Orlando and Atlanta are only a game away from each other, and they could flip flop between that 7-8 for the play-in.
correct.
And we'd end up playing Orlando in the first round. Ugh.
Yeah, well,
I don't like having to play Orlando in the first round. I mean, I know we took care of them eventually last year, but I still remember that game in Orlando that I went to, and they just beat our ass.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the worst games I think I've ever seen a team play. And I'm like, I paid money for this. It was bad. So, and it seems like they just seem to be playing pretty good. So,
Rob Yar is talking Ty Jerome, and he ain't afraid. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It ain't pretty, it ain't the ballet, but he gets those balls to drop, and he has become more reliable in the lane than Darius Garland.
Well,
and he's quick with the reach around to knock the ball away. He creates turnovers, and he can hit 3-point shots. But more than anything, he is a spark plug. He's a guy who, and I know we talk about college basketball, but having a championship pedigree does matter. It really does.
yeah.
And he and Hunter share that in common. And when the moment's large, a guy like Ty Jerome isn't afraid to be the guy who says, fuck Donovan Mitchell, fuck Darius Garland. If I'm on a roll, I'm going to carry this team on my back for a while. And you need people like that, people who are confident, not people who are afraid of their own shadows and who are not in good enough physical condition. You notice that Ty Jerome, whenever he finishes in the paint, he'll sit on the floor and flex his arms,
Yeah.
Darius Garland can't do that. There's nothing to flex. I mean, sometimes physical raw strength comes to play in this whole equation. And
Okay. Guess who the Cavs' leading scorer was yesterday?
that probably sounds like Ty Jerome.
Yeah, 20 points.
Yep. I mean, you know, I don't know that we're going to get to the Celtics, but, and I go one day at a time. You got to beat the Bulls now. You got to get the 1 seed. But anyway, it doesn't matter because whoever comes into Cleveland, and that's the message about the Kings. Why would they let the Kings do that? Well, David, I'll tell you, because it's a fucking message. It's
They
like,
hate us.
don't be so happy that you got home court advantage. We can take that away from you in a fucking blink of an eye. That's what that is. It's just like in those mob movies, you know, where they leave little things like a cat hanging from the ceiling.
A horse head in the bed, yeah.
Right. They always have a message, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, what do you know? The guy got the role in the movie. You know, they're going to bend you to their will. It's a message, David. That's a message. And if you think that it can't happen, we just let the Kings do it to you.
Wow.
When we let the Celtics do it to you, it's going to be 28-point victory for the Celtics. And then Shannon and Brian and all of them are going to be talking about how great the Celtics are. That's what it's all about. As long as you know in advance, you won't be so disappointed. And I love this headline. I love these premature headlines. It's kind of like ejaculation. It's worthless if it's premature. Cavs dodge Donovan Mitchell injury. No, they did not dodge his injury. Please make that stop, dear Cod. He sprained his ankle, and now they're saying, according to David in the chat room, that he is not going to play on Wednesday. So now the Bulls have the big advantage of 24 points off the scoreboard for the Cavaliers before the fucking game even begins. So there's that. And as far as Darius Garland's second half slump, you're stuck with him now. You didn't deal with it last year. You let him get away with just being Mr. Scrawny again and not working at his trade. Now you're smarter. If you get blown out in the beginning of the playoffs, get rid of him. Trade him. He's not about getting better. And it's just a sacrifice you have to make. None of the players that people say, oh, Larry Bird was the greatest of all time, or Michael Jordan was the greatest of all time. And do you think that in their existing condition back then, they would just be run off the fucking floor? You know what they were doing?
God, yeah.
They were superstars. And you know who else was playing in the league? Steve Kerr. Low white boys. I mean, come on. People who couldn't even dunk. People who, you know, now there isn't a player on the court who can't take rise and slam dunk the ball. Everyone's playing above the rim, but not in Michael Jordan's time. Fuck no. So today, you have to put your time in the workout room. Shouldn't have to say this to people who are making hundreds of millions of dollars. Oh my God. And then I see this for a headline. I mean, you know, Colorado offensive coordinator Pat Shurmur has some advice for the Browns on Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. Well, whatever he has to say, fuck him in the ass. He's a kumquat. The guy's a goddamn vegetable. I don't care what Pat Shurmur thinks. Pat Shurmur had his time in Cleveland to prove that whatever it is he thinks was valid. And it was not valid. And all he did was lose his play sheet across the field into the hands of the opposing coach. Fuck you, Pat Shurmur. That's why you're an OC at Colorado. Because nobody cares about Colorado except they care about portal. And they care about, well, the university's now going to go ahead and they're going to raise up all kinds of funds to bring players in. But, you know, unless Deion Sanders somehow finds fertility and fucks a gazillion people, eventually, once he has 1 or 2 shit years, nobody's going to go to Colorado. And then Pat Shurmur will become offensive coordinator of Our Lady of the, pregnancy mishap. And that's that. Who cares what he thinks? And who cares whatever the Browns are going to do, it'll be the wrong thing. Just take my word for it. There's not a 1-year solution to the hole that Jimmy Haslam has dug. And you can talk about it all you want and analyze it, and that's fine. You can say, this is what I think the Browns should draft. But
No,
it's not going to change.
Monte
the
Mack
fact-
and Ray Jennings. I've been saying it all day.
Well,
I watched
you know
Draft Day again yesterday. That's
do you want to know what the dead giveaway is? There isn't a single team with a chance to win the Super Bowl that's saying, well, Kenny Pickett might be our starter. All right, or am I right?
Can you cheer me up and do a Peter Alice play of the game from yesterday's Cavs game? Or you can do the OKC Lakers game if you want.
I've lived long enough. Well, now I'm not alive anymore, but I'm looking at a game where SGA didn't get to the free throw line. The only way I thought that would happen is if they poked his eyes out. That would be dreadful. But the reality is this. The teams who win, it's like Tiger Woods. He's injured again. He's having surgery again. He might as well be Black Dean Wade. That's what you
That
call
was pretty random.
We're just riffing at this point,
Oh, I'm dying.
Yeah, that's the difference between,
My face is about as red as Luka Doncic on a fast break.
God,
He looks pink when he comes off the court. I hope he just doesn't fucking die one time.
You know
he's
what
out
he
there.
reminds me of?
The Pillsbury Doughboy.
Kind of, but he's like the Slavic relative who comes down the chimney once a year with the Santa Claus suit on. I mean,
Yeah. He's... Oh.
And then, as if that's not enough, we got one more night before this great home opener for the Guardians. Haven't they been great?
Is it
so
snowing?
far?
It actually snowed in Dublin overnight. There was snow.
Excellent.
A little bit of snow. It wasn't like anywhere on the ground, but it was like on top of like patio stuff.
Excellent.
And they're saying that it's snowing in Mentor right now, and
always snows
right
in
up by the
Mentor.
lake. And
There's no surf in Mentor though.
And here, I mean, we've had a bunch of 90-degree days in succession.
You have.
And tomorrow is going to drop down to 72. So we're going to go back into more temperate weather. But all that cold weather that you're seeing pushing across the north.
Yeah. Like the other day, I asked how Dwayne Stat was doing going to these games at Legends Park, 90 degrees. He must be melting.
Spring, my ass. Yeah, I could just.
It's so hot here.
Why doesn't somebody just put a spit through me and spin me around? Oh God, I can't do that voice because that's gonna kill me. But I had to do him because you invoked his name.
I invoked Dwayne Stat.
Yeah, my God. Yeah. So the Guardians so far. They're everything we thought they'd be. Jose Ramirez, and Jose Ramirez. And what we all feared, Emmanuel Clase, and Emmanuel Clase. And no, Bo Naylor can't hit. And now that he's lost his brother, he's worse than he was.
Yeah.
And starting pitching is irregular. All right. And
got a home run the other night.
Yeah, look at his stats. I mean,
He's like 2 for 27 or something.
Hey,
but
that's Richie Shine Bloom-esque.
well, Shine Bloom equals Schneeman, and
Oh, yeah.
to be honest with you, it's like, well, I mean, how do you get to the point where you're in the finals of the American League against the Yankees and giving them hell with an all-star second baseman, and now you got Daniel Schneeman and Gabriel Arias? How does this happen anywhere but Cleveland? I mean, they're horrible. And I told everybody they have a real chance of losing 90 to 95 games this year.
Yeah.
They're just
tanking.
not good. They can't. And Gavin Williams has $100 million arm, but it's the command is lacking. Logan Allen has an inadequate arm. You look at, Ben Lively. I mean, that would not describe his breaking ball.
No, more like Blake.
Yeah, they're not very good. And so this is what we have to watch until we're waiting for Haslam's next mistake, And the headline, where do the Guardians need to get better after a brutal 3-6 opening road trip? It's like, where do they need to get better?
Somewhere else.
You start at the top of the lineup and then you go to the bottom of the lineup. You know something? If I said to you, Bronk and Jim, I said, I want you to start buying some quality merchandise, but you're only allowed to shop at Dollar General.
Okay.
And you say, well, that's not fair. That's what fans are saying. It's not fair. We can't afford anybody. And we just get rid of people. And now I know that Jimenez got off to a good start with the Blue Jays. I don't know what's happened more recently because I don't follow the Blue Jays. But I can guarantee you it's better than Schneeman and Arias. And Arias is, what a dumbbell. I mean, look at him. I mean, if you look at his eyes, it says no sale. I mean, he's vapid, empty, dumb. He's never going to be a major league player. Neither is Schneeman. He's 28 years old.
Wow.
And
the Cleveland Dollar Generals.
Yeah, there you go. That would be a good name. Yeah. The discount aisle.
Why don't we get some of these torpedo bats I keep hearing about? Why don't we get some of those?
Well, it was like they were going to say, well, we're examining that because that's not legal. Now it's like, oh, they're fine. Manfred.
They're the Yankees.
That's right. Go ahead, you guys. You keep using them. It's just so tiresome. And here's the big headline. Cleveland Guardians add 10 over-the-air broadcasts on WKYC.
Oh, God. Why would you want to watch that?
The reason that's a big thing is because they don't have any fans outside of Cleveland. So whatever games you can see locally is a big deal. Because nobody outside that even gives a shit about the Guardians. And I'm watching the away announcers because, I mean, if they say one more time, it's like, they'll be talking about the torpedo bat. And they'll say, what do you think, Andre? And Andre Knott comes in and says, hey, I was trying the French toast down here, and I think what a recipe they have. I didn't realize they make this good of a French toast all the way out here in Anaheim.
Yeah.
And that him and he and Manning hate one another. Manning hates him anyway. I think that.
I think everybody hates Manning. Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, I think that Andre would hate him more if Manning fucked his wife. He's just too old to do that now. But it's like it's that same vibe that Bruce Drennan used to get from Joe Tate.
Yeah,
it's like you could just. Well, Joe, we got ducks on the pond. You got
I
all the
hate
ducks
you.
on the pond, Joe. Did you see that, Joe? And there would be silence. But you know, inside of his head,
I'm gonna kill him.
yeah, it's like, fuck this guy. Fuck him. I don't want to talk to him. And that's exactly, I mean, Rick Manning will answer, Andre Knott will ask him something like, so Rick, you know, the creation of the world, how do you think that actually happened? And Rick Manning will say, took some work. And that's the end of the conversation. You don't want to talk to him. Just doesn't. It's just really.
Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
so you get 10 more games on WKYC. Congratulations. That's wonderful.
Well,
So, hey, I made it to the top of the hour.
You
What can
did.
I tell you? I hope that I've been uplifting.
is there any more hilarious headlines you can tell you that you got scrolled up that you haven't used
No,
yet?
I used everything that I
Did you
had.
use
I knew that-
everything? There's got to be something else more hilarious up there.
No, I mean, well, there is, but it's political stuff, and
Oh,
I
okay.
don't want to go there.
I really didn't know about Hakeem Olajuwon though not being allowed. Yeah, I didn't know about that. That's just amazing. So
Yeah,
There you go.
I find enough audacious stuff to put it on the air, but no,
didn't know
I
about
mean,
that.
it's yeah.
Oh! That reminds me. We were talking about Sacramento. And what do they mean? Well, they've got a back-to-back, and they're going into Detroit. Now, who do you think's going to win that game? That nobody's going to watch? I think it'd probably be the Pistons. So because they keep pimping JB Bickerstaff on the national broadcasts for Coach of the Year.
And he'll 3 years from now he won't have a job again.
He won't have a job by
Uh,
2027. Yeah, absolutely. He'll be gone by then.
And
So-
Rich just asked me, "Am I a game time decision on Friday?" No, I'll be. You know, I think I'm getting better. I think the
You're getting
fact that I
better.
can- that I
Well,
have
you're
more
healthily, but whether the content's
Not
better.
dead yet.
Come back on Thursday.
Yeah,
I'm going to go for a walk.
bring out your dead. Bring
Oh, I
out
feel happy.
Here you go. Here's a couple of quid.
You got to be a Python fan for you. If you don't know Monty Python movie stuff, then
Yeah.
what we're saying doesn't make any sense to you.
Nothing
But no,
we
I'm
say
not a
makes
game
any
time
sense.
decision. I'm going to be right out here on Friday, and unless there's something unforeseen and I get hit by a vehicle,
Don't go out of the house.
my energy is about 75%. And I rode my bike 6 miles today. I'm easing my way back into that. So, you know.
Wow.
Well,
That's more
yeah.
than I've done today. I had a nap with one of my cats. So there you
That's
go.
better than
That's
having
mighty,
a crap with one of your cats. You know,
Stepping
my
it
day
up
got off
there,
to a
aren't
great
you?
start.
Yeah.
I fed Topaz the wolf, you know?
Yeah, I
And
fed
he-
6 cats today.
Yeah, he
I'm
was
awesome.
incredibly hungry.
How
I mean-
hungry was he?
Oh my God. He attacked his bowl and he whooped it down. He came back to me here. I was sitting here, you know, doing early show prep, and he vomited it up right on the floor next to me. It's like, way to go, Topaz. Like that is just that's
thought
the way
old
to
cats
start your
did
day.
that.
Dog vomit. Beware of dog vomit.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's the dog with the projectile.
And boy, he roused it right up, man. I mean, it was like that wasn't in his stomach more than 45 seconds. I don't know how dogs do that. And then he
You're-
looks at you like, "Hey, can I have some more?"
You've heard of Ralph,
Hmm.
but do you know his brother Earl?
Earl.
You mean Ralph and Earl?
Earl.
Oh,
dry
Ralph and
heave.
Earl. I got you. Yeah, I mean, projectile. Although, you know, it's like chunky. You know, when a dog does it, it's like, "Rrr," and it comes out just like a water coming out of a fire hydrant. "Rrr," you know, and it's
This is
done.
the content people
At least
want.
it's not protracted. You don't have to
Yeah.
sit there and go, "Are you done yet, Topaz?" No,
No.
You know, no. He just all at once. So, you know, I waited. I gave him some crunchy treats, and that stayed down, and because he
that's
actually
good.
chewed them. And then he ate the dinner tonight, and he was fine. But it's not like us. If we're vomiting, we're sick.
They're sick.
Yeah.
But they just forget about it and get on with their day.
Yeah.
Get
Well,
about.
I better get out of here. But thanks, Hammer
Go
Time.
eat your meal after all that chat.
I've already made my dinner, and
made your
actually,
dinner.
it's rice and some sauce with some chicken, and it kind of
Ooh.
looked like what Topaz.
What
threw up.
Topaz barfed up, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. Go Cavs. I'm always a Cavs fan, and I'd be dishonest. I don't think they deserve to win the game, but it was just mighty suspect that
It
they
was
didn't examine such an obvious mistake, but they immediately jumped on that
The
Donovan
little
Field
toe
was
on
on
his
the
eye,
sideline. Yeah. I
Toe
mean,
on the line.
that was like the bow on the package. That was just
Yeah.
finished the whole presentation. Very disappointing. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into this edition of Moohead Radio. Jim and Moose, thank you. And we'll be back again on Friday. Until then, hasta la vista, pasture heads. Good night.
At least we're not Oklahoma City. That's all we can